This is part 6. Yeah, and by the way, same thing. I'm just doing some parts in the same location, same day, and going to put them up one day after another. I'm going to see you through the dark night. I won't let you fall asleep in the snow by the side of the road. You've got to keep going. Things are going to be okay. There's many, many more wonderful experiences for you to have on this earth. It's going to be great, and everything's going to be okay. All right, this is just a small exercise that I've done in the past. This was especially helpful at the beginning when I was trying to separate out the horrid chatterbox of my mind that just wouldn't let up 24/7. Like I would wake up and the darkness would like come in, all the worries. Oh no, this again. I've got to worry about these things. And of course, if you tuned in to part 5, I theorize I'm creating these things for myself. And to answer the question, why do I want to be worried all the time, will actually make it go away. And a lot of things will go away if you just ignore them. Some people say, oh, Sean, you're just putting your head in the sand. I'm like, I highly recommend it. The sand is a great place to put your head. In fact, I would burrow your entire body down into the sand. And I wouldn't even stop there. I'd burrow all the way down, carve out a giant cavern complex, and furnish it to taste and live down there under the sand. So this exercise is called Brain in a Jar, and it's not too difficult. Whenever you're about to start one of these exercises, these relief exercises, you just imagine your brain. Excuse me, that's not how it works. You imagine a jar that's nearby, and you detail it in your mind. What does it look like? I usually put ornamentate like spheres of glass that are circling around it, and at the top has it's clear, and it has a cookie jar bulb on it that you pick up. And inside this jar are nutrients, a nutrient-rich liquid. And you take your brain out of your head and you stick it into the jar. And if you're walking, you imagine the jars going along with you. However it is, whatever the thing that you imagine. And the more complicated it is, and the more lavish this mental construction, the better, because that in itself is a distraction meditation. You're thinking for just that moment. You're thinking about it. You're thinking about something different. You're taking your mind off of things. And so you put your brain in a jar, and and put the lid on. This exercise separates out those thoughts. That brain is still telling you, is still hashing old grudges again and again for years at a time. And you start to separate those two, and you start to understand them and be able to observe them. But what's doing the observing? Well, that's the subject of a lot more great intellects than mine. All right, so that's your exercise for the day. And remember, if no video is up or there's any delay, default back to the thank yous things or one of the other exercises. But the thank yous is possibly the easiest one and most consistent, and also has ties into the next level that we're going to go up to. And we're going to take it step by step, just like learning to lift weights. If you are completely atrophied from 40 years of not working out or doing anything and eating whole tubs of ice cream, well, guess what? You won't be able to deadlift 200 pounds. You've got to start with some kind of movement. Even if that movement is minuscule, even if you just move that needle just a tiny little bit, you've got to start somewhere. You've got to get up and get going. And I assure you that after however long, some people obviously just sort of jump up to these higher levels. That's not me. I've been going since 2012, realizing I'm like, oh, I'm doing this all to myself. Maybe I should clean up my terrible mental habits. All right, well, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow.